And you got one. Okay, Mark. I just have to stand. I don't have a problem with that. I don't blame you. I did too. About. I was gonna say, be careful with that, Mark. You might be president. Boy, have you So we'll take Julia will take a standing nomination for the next. Okay, get started. So welcome everyone to the Rotary Club of Florence, February 26th meeting. If you don't know who I am, I'm Julie Pyle, I'm president. And I believe Carrie is coming up too.
Please bow with me. Heavenly Father, we gather today to reflect on our Rotary mission. We thank you for the opportunity to serve and make a positive impact in the world. May our prayer remind us of our commitment to this noble cause. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, the four-way test. First.
It is true.
Second.
It is very long concern.
Third.
Will it build good relationships?
Fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Awesome. Thank you, Carrie. Sean. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just.
Hello, hello, hello. We have welcome. Good to see everybody. Mark, good to see you back. Glad you're with us, Mark.
$1 for me.
I'm not that happy. Greg Palmer, good to see you. Let me see who. Gary Greiser, way to go. They've been there. All the health stuff. You know, we always thought all these other people were in bad shape. And you know, we all end up, we never know. Good to see everybody. We have guests today. Carol Lee List back with us. Welcome back, Carol Lee. You want to stand and tell us what you do?
CEO for Northern Kentucky, a landscape lawn maintenance, interior, exterior health.
All right. Thank you. Welcome. If any of you are too old to get up on your ladder, yes, you are, then she'll hang the lights for you at Christmas time. So, remember Dr. Poor, when he's part of the club, says, yeah, after you get a certain age, it's like the belt running out and wearing out in your tractor. This part doesn't really run real good, but this part, your equilibrium and you fall. So, Dr. Poor can really explain things. When he and Dr. Booth were going at it, it was pretty good stuff. Amber Ison, welcome, Amber. You want to rise and tell us what you do? Welcome. All right. So now we're not going to hear any more liberty, liberty, liberty. Okay. I was wondering about it. I'm always confused about that. And Chris Pavese, welcome back, Chris. You want to tell us what you do?
Thank you. Chris Pavese. I'm running for the House of Representatives 60th District. I think it's my third visit, and that really says I got to join.
Absolutely. All right, welcome, Chris.
She did.
There you go. We Reds are off to a hot start, 2-0. Cactus League, we're ready to go. We got a split squad today. The weather out there is going to be almost as nice as here. It's good to be around good people with all this good weather. My Wildcats have been kind of psychotic. One night not so good, keeps me up for a couple hours, and then Saturday was amazing. So can't explain it. And for our other local teams, it's good here. So, and it seems like they're competitive in so many games, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work out. But That's the way it is. Let me see, what else? Storming the court, we talking about storming the court, don't do that. You might get knocked down. Unless you're a Louisville fan like Monty, you can storm all you want. They don't win and there's nobody there. That's all I'm telling you.
Man.
So, also to mention, Carolee is not only a guest today, but she actually already applied for membership. She was approved on Wednesday, as membership.
New member.
So she is actually an official member. And I have been a client of yours for 20 years now.
Oh, wow.
So I highly recommend the work that she's actually working on some big projects for me right now in the area. Because it's graduation year, so of course you get everything done. So if you need anything outdoors, highly recommend her. Welcome, congratulations, and thank you to Tiffany Day, who was approved as our new treasurer. Okay, so we have a special presentation today. He's back.
Hey, you need to come out.
Make you all nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Trouble again.
Yeah.
What they call me at Sam's, trouble.
Dave, when I was president, we had a lot of trouble. The Hilton didn't want us anymore. They were trying to find a place. Then we were at the Ignite. Then we couldn't find a place that would feed us.
Gotcha.
And you stepped up, and we will always appreciate that, Dave.
I appreciate
So
it.
part of our benefit, we would like to make you an honorary member of the board. And also a nice pin to put on your suit. I know you wear those quite a bit. Yeah. Suitable for framing, Dave.
I will frame that. That'll be in my office.
Oh, you need to complete the form. Oh, boy.
Ben's over there.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. My son's up. Responsible for more than me.
So, thank you, Dave.
Made me work for a bunch
Okay, so, something that kind of came up in membership was, we had, of course, new members received their pins, but we decided we would also give a certificate. So I'm gonna do a little catch up on certificates. So Will, if you come up and get your certificate. And then everyone who gets their certificate also will get a printout of their DAC TV so they can update it with instructions on the back to get a hold of our kids. To get their DAC TV updated. So, yeah. Tim, you want to come up and get yours? So from now on, when we get the pins out, Monty, because you have
Monty.
reactivated. And I didn't know if you had a pen or not, so you have to be able to wear. There you go. And then Ian actually has an anniversary on March 2nd, so I have, because I know not everybody has these lovely certificates, so this year we will give everybody a certificate on their anniversary, along with their DAC for now. Thank you. Yes.
All right.
We have this other thing, so we'll catch everybody else at meeting. Greeting cards, don't forget about the greeting cards. Think about who are we missing. One that came to the top of my head today was Pat, who used to be on the Rotary Awareness. Monahan?
Yeah. I've always wondered about him. I thought, Greg, did you say that? Mark?
Somebody was talking about.
Somebody was saying he might be coming back.
So,
Hi, Craig. I saw him last week and he looked really good.
good, yeah. Is Paul here? Okay, we'll have to give an update, and Paul is our point person on that. So remember, probably about a month ago or so, I sent out a survey of what's the club's interest? What are people interested in as far as events or social events? On the tables, there is one page if people just want to look. I printed one copy out, but it actually has the voting results. It's the this one that's the list, front and back. So the top results were community cleanups, which I think Ian's going to check on the trash for cash. An event tied to the Boone County Anniversary, chili or crock pot cook-off, international festival around the world, and CPR training. So those were the top things of interest to our club members to do. Social events for serving a meal at Mary Reservation, which I know we've done in the past, but we have to get on that rotation. Attending influential games, which we'll do again this year. That was a highly attended event last year. Happy hours, attending a KU basketball game, which we did, and serving a meal at emergency shelter. So what I've done, if you look on the bottom of the, it's actually this half-page flyer. I created a sign-up genius for all these different, or at least the community events type thing. If you have any interest, because I believe the top one, the community cleanups, have like 12 people who are interested in doing that. If you would go in and just sign up, say, yep, I'm of interest, you might help organize, create, whatever, just trying to find out who's interested in different things and start to get that organized.
Really, I can give you a little bit of information about
Yeah, because you're on that community planning.
I'm serving on the planning committee.
Yeah.
On June 1st at the fairgrounds, there's going to be a full day, huge festival around the 225th to kind of kick it off for the rest of the year. There will be an opportunity for organizations to have a get ready to send that info out.
But that's also our play shoots, first. And then that's also, as you guys saw in my email, that's also graduation weekend, state track and field meet. So there's a lot of stuff going on that day. So save the dates. Euchre tournament this Saturday if anybody's interested. Right now it's just me, my husband, and my son. I could use a fourth if anybody wants to come and play with us just for fun. Rotary Day Frankfurt tomorrow. We have 3 cars going. Will is going, but his car is full. There'll be 1 at 7. Dwayne and I are leaving at 6 if anyone wants to go with us. And then Don, oh, there you are. Don has his car. So far, he's got 3 along with him in his cars. Tim and his son, your granddaughter. So if anybody wants to leave at 6, they're meeting at the Park and Ride on Mall Road by Planet Fitness. Dwayne and I are going at 6, and then Don will do a shift at 7. Randy Poges messaged me today too. He's gonna be down there. He's gonna go to education committee room too. So I think I figure we have about 10 people so far signed up to go.
It'll be interesting. Either wear your Rotary badge or your Rotary pin,
Yes.
so they can see who we are. Cool.
Michelle and Dwayne, you want to talk about this with the counselor?
Yes, I'll talk about that a little bit. So this is an invitation that Joy was nice enough to modify for us. We have handouts to give out to everyone for our open house that comes up on April the 29th. It's also an email form. You sent out an email earlier today, so you can send those out to people to invite them. We'd like to see each member invite 2 to 3 people. And we're just going to have it like a walkthrough, a gallery of the different teams that we have. So that it's kind of a social thing. We'll have finger food for everyone. So just a nice day to come in and meet everybody, see what we're about, learn what we do, and hopefully increase our membership.
So we have developed the trifle board for each school. So we each team do one of these and have one ready. Whoever takes us through the team sign on the list so we know who has that. So it'll be set up with the room like a gallery walk. We're going to ask Dave to do finger foods so people can walk. So thank you to Team 4. Others, save the dates. Maker X, we had a table at that last year. Gary Greiser was there, Janie, and Dwayne, I think. It's a large event. I think we had about 1,500 people came last year. So it's a good time just to get the word out about Rotary. So I should do first. I actually ran into Laura from the fair board at Kohl's this week. And she's like, is Rotary going to do a night of taking admissions at the fair? So, well, I think we typically do Wednesday nights. So get it on your calendar so we can get people there. We sit in nice air conditioned rooms and just take the money, and it's fun. There's 2 shifts. Sign up is on that sign up sheet also. And then Serve and Socialize Fair, that's at the library, May 18th, 10 to 2. Jamie signed up for that. 1 or 2 more. And you can take that board, our tribal board we already have. We have lots of flyers. So there's things to be able to hand out. Other day, these are district save the date, May 18th. And then also June 1st in the evening is foundation, district foundation dinner. Teacher of the Year nominations are open. We had a flurry of them come in last Friday, and they thought it was due last Friday. It's actually due this week. Scholarship applications are going. Haven't seen too many applications yet, so if you know any seniors, please let them know. We just got this. The RILA applications are now open, and our foundation approved last year in January and February. It was too late for that one to sponsor 2 kids up to $1,000. So we'll pay for their registration. And because it's like way down south in Kentucky, and it starts early in the morning, there's going to be transportation and hotel and stuff. So the foundation is sponsoring 2 students. 8th graders, deadline's March 22nd. So, and I think I would know that application. If I didn't, I can get that too. Just a couple things to keep in mind. Senior exit interview time. Boone County. There's a flyer for that Boone County High School over at the table. Birthdays and anniversaries. Billy Santos, 17 years on Friday, and then Ian, who's very highlighted for 7 years. Happy dollars. We may have happy dollars.
Oh,
Go ahead, Will.
the smallest, I'm a high roller, the smallest I have is 5, so I'll see if I can take off 5. On Friday was my 1-year anniversary of being, how do you say, downsized at my former employer, which launched me into working for myself full-time once again. With that being said, I'm taking on new clients if any of you have video needs. Another happy is my daughter. I'm pulling her out of 4th grade tomorrow to go down to the State House with us. And as part of the school program, to be able to do that, she has to write a 5-page report, which I'm going to supplement with a video that I'll have her write the script for. So like the one that I did of our trip last year, it'll be, I'll take the video of it, but it will be her perspective. So I hope that'll be interesting. And then I'll do a 3rd and just round up to 5. I don't know why. I lost my dad 9 months ago, and today it's just been a really sad day for me, and I don't know why. It's been on my mind a lot. Harry asked if I wanted to do the blessing. I said, no, not so much. But then I was in the restroom, and I thought, you know, there's something. He really liked musicals, and there's one called Finian's Rainbow, which Fred Astaire was in the movie version, was also Fred Astaire's last film role. But in that, he gives a blessing to his daughter, and it's look to the rainbow and follow the fellow who follows his dream. So that's kind of been in my mind today. So
That's beautiful.
Wow. Couple happy dollars here. Just want to thank everybody. It's been very difficult with my mom passing away. And I think it was the first recipient of the cards. So thank you for everybody that put that together. Just want to recognize our new member, Carol Lee. Met with her on Friday. And if you're going to join Rotary, we're going to put you to work right away. So one of Rotary International's is their butterfly and their bee conservation initiatives. So we've got all the pieces put in place. We just needed somebody to put it together. So there's a lot of federal grants or international grants that we can get. The Zoo Botanical Garden, he actually lives here in Hebron. Yeah. So he's going to be able to assist us. So the city of Florence is looking for something. If not, we'll do it at the Arboretum. So I think this project's going to take a life of its own. So we're really looking forward to that. Senator Mike Adams has always been a friend of Rotary. He spoke here a couple times. He's going to be endorsing my campaign. So my fundraiser is going to be March 7th out of Triple Crown. I'd love to have all the Rotarians out there. And lastly, you never know as a Rotarian when you're able to be service above self. So I like doing estate sales, and I was at an estate sale recently, and there was a book. And I was like, huh, that's a Boone County Library book. And the return date was June 6th, 1999. So I'm going to return the book back to the Boone County Library. I wouldn't want to be in. It's not my book. I didn't buy the book.
Oh my gosh. Anybody else have happy dogs?
We jointly, Carrie and I have one. Some of you may know that our son was in the school musical, which went off this last weekend. So after 5-day week till 6:30 every night or later rehearsal, we finally got to perform 5 performances Friday and Saturday. We saw Friday night, which was interesting, you know, high school. But for a role that my son originally did not try out for and did not want, he was, in my word, fantastic. No more stress, no more him being up all night because I from the performances and having to do more than I think. We're ready.
Anybody else?
I have one. The much better half of Ian Addington, Mrs. Addington, my kids were into this academic team stuff, and she's won the local championship and is going on to the regional. So quick recall, and the academic champions from St. Paul, coached by Mrs. Addington, they are moving on.
Very good. Very nice. Very nice. Anybody else? This is a happy day. I actually had one too, and mine was just for Team 4 for membership and all that you guys are doing and get things rocking and rolling. And then I also have to give a shout out to Will because Will did some amazing videos for my nonprofit grant. And so if you want to go see how talented he is, how many hours of footage? No.
Oh, I don't remember. We did 28 interviews in 3 days plus 2 events in Delaware. So at the end of the day, probably close to 40 hours of interviews.
Yeah.
And then the final product was like 15, 16 videos, something like that.
So he's taking all that, condensing it, making stories out of it, fantastic. So definitely video needs to see more. Okay. Michelle, do you want to? Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
We forgot something while I was like moving all this.
yeah. Oh, yes.
We don't have to go all the way up. I received in the mail a Paul Harris pen, journal pop, with 3 little
Excellent.
gems. So if you want to know, the Paul Harris is when you donate $10,000 to Rotary International or to Rotary, and each pen is an additional.
No, we went kind of long, so. Sorry, bear with me when I put my notes on here. Because our speaker is quite a bio intro here. So today, Megan Jackson is a longtime champion of building community through relationships and making connections between individuals, businesses, and nonprofit organizations. Megan strives to use her gift of connecting to bring encouragement, support, and growth. Rooted in social services, she began her career as a family
Resource Center coordinator with Covington Independent Schools before finding her knack for fundraising in the nonprofit sector. In 2015, she turned her focus to philanthropy as Director of Individual Giving for Cincinnati Museum Center and supported the historical $240 million restoration and renovation project at Union Terminal and its museum. Then in 2019, Megan received a unique opportunity to join Master Provisions as their development director in their 25-year history, launching multiple new giving platforms, growing their reoccurring donor program, and broadening their brand recognition. But it wasn't until most recently, and with great enthusiasm, Megan returned to her roots of caring for children and families when she accepted the role of VP of Development for the Dragonfly Foundation. As the only nonprofit in Greater Cincinnati focused on caring for children and their families faced with pediatric cancer diagnosis, Dragonfly provides strength, courage, and joy in unique ways and with tangible opportunities. With over 7,500 Dragonflies served, Megan is at home, continuing to care for others and providing an example of how we all grow when we live in community and with one another. So welcome, Megan Jackson.
Okay, well, I feel like that just sums it up, right? Do I really need to say too much? Okay, no, thanks, Michelle. Well, as you ended and talked about building community, I think that's what I see when I look at Rotary. I've had the privilege to attend several Rotary meetings, and then I've met a lot of you from my time when I was with Master Provisions. Wonderful nonprofit, wonderful opportunity that I had there to learn. Make a right, or make a right. So now I'm with Dragonfly Foundation, and I'm not sure how many in this room have heard of Dragonfly. Oh, good. How many of you heard of it before Marty Brenneman? See, okay. There you go, Dwayne. Yep. Which one is this, Julie? Is it the big one? Oh, the one on the right. There we go. Okay. So just real quick, I'll give you a little background about Dragonfly Foundation. 13 years old, going into their 14th year, our founder, Christine Knightsky, and her friend set out to start Dragonfly after Christine was going through pediatric cancer with her youngest son. So that's where it all began. Really, it's always a personal connection, you know, that people's passions really just skyrocket. So Christine's son, Matt, was diagnosed at age 10 with pediatric cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 3A. And at that point of his diagnosis, 10 years old, he was having trouble breathing. They thought that it was possibly pneumonia, different things like that. He had seen several doctors. They went on a Friday afternoon to Children's Hospital. We are so blessed to have Children's right in our backyard. Went in on a Friday afternoon, had an MRI scan. He had a baseball-sized tumor on his lung. That was causing the breathing problems. They found out after that afternoon that he had Hodgkin's lymphoma. They never went home. They went straight up to the 5th floor, which is the oncology floor at Cincinnati Children's. And he started months of treatment. Today, Matt and his brother are Miami students. So they're in college, Miami University. But while Christine was there, you know, she shared this story with me. I had interviewed last summer with her for coffee, met for coffee, and I said, how did this get started? And she had shared, she said, Megan, I spent those months just fighting for my child's life, doing whatever we needed to do. She said, when I felt that we were kind of on the other side of it and things were going to be okay, I started to look around that 5th floor. And what I saw is families struggling to get there every single day, going back and forth, and the cost of gas. Struggling to find the dollars to eat 3 meals a day in the hospital cafeteria, because it adds up, 3 meals a day and you're not leaving. She said, when I went there that Friday afternoon and never went home, I didn't have a toothbrush, I didn't have a hairbrush, and I didn't go home for weeks. She said, so that's how Dragonfly started. I was blessed to have her parents, a community, a church, a baseball team, people rallying around me. There are a lot of families that don't have that, and that's why Dragonfly started. So 13 years, I think I shared, and what we're doing now It's just meeting families where they are. One person you don't often hear about or people are the siblings of pediatric cancer patients and their parents, right? So it's the siblings that are also really affected by what's going on. Matt had an older brother, 2 years older, Sam, who didn't see his brother for months. All he knew is he had cancer. Matt witnessed some really trying times watching that process with Matt, twice almost losing his life. And still today is dealing with a lot of that trauma, you know. So Dragonfly is there to meet patients, children, siblings, parents, the community where they're at. And I know it's a little long video, but this is why I'm at Dragonfly. I saw this little girl. Thank you, Julie.
Part of the joke about a piece of paper. Never mind, it's terrible. My name is Marley, and I am 9 years old. I know dance and some jokes. Very forgetful.
To know Marley, she lights up a room, and people say that, but she has the most contagious smile and laugh. She's instant friends with everybody, young and old. She's just drawn to people, and people are drawn to her. So Marley's diagnosis was a hard-fought battle for us. We noticed something was off. So we took her to the doctor, said things aren't right, and they said, well, kids in quarantine and COVID, it's just how they are, and they just kind of brushed us off. So we went to another pediatrician, and they wouldn't even let us in unless we said she had a fever or, a cough, because everything was locked down so tight. And finally, we got a referral to a neurologist. So that was like several months out. You don't just get an appointment and go the next day. So by the time we went to that neurologist, she was having real difficulty walking, coordination, hand-eye coordination was noticeably off. So we get there, they do some testing, they do an overnight seizure study, all of these things, everything normal. So they took her for an MRI. They said we'll be back in 2 hours because they were going to do some other tests while she was sedated. And it was 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And eventually they called myself and said, can you come down to the imaging center?
Yeah, so we went and met with them in a room. 2 neurologists were in there, and they said, your daughter has a brain tumor in the middle of her.
Started with Orange. We have already moved her up to the PICU, the ICU, and we're calling in a team. This was Friday evening at this point. They were calling in a team to have emergency surgery as soon as they could get a full team assembled there on Saturday morning. My little girl's having brain surgery in a few hours. And I still have a text I sent to a group of friends. It says, just gonna cut to the chase. Marley has a brain tumor. They're calling in for emergency surgery. Like, help.
During the surgery, 14 hours, it just felt like such a long time. And yeah, to finally see Marley after the surgery, just like, wow, like, what a tough little girl she just went through.
So he wasn't able to get all of it, but he was able to get most of it to let her brain kind of relax and get rid of that hydrocephalus. After she was out of the ICU from brain surgery, it was kind of all hands on board, and we're still in quarantine at that point. We're still COVID. So nobody could come. So we saw each other for like 2 hours a day for the 4 weeks that she was inpatient. So she had been home from the hospital for about a week. She had brain surgery over the summer and started first grade with her periods. She was so excited to see her friends, and they were back after being quarantined. So it was super exciting. And a week later, we're getting ready for church. My phone rang, and it's Dr. Brenneman, who did Marley's MRI mapping for radiation. I'm leaving a voicemail that says, just letting you know, I'm sitting here reviewing Marley's MRI scan, and her tumor is regrown to the same side. We can't do radiation on the tumor this side.
We realized we had to go through this all over again back after surgery. It's like, oh, how many times is this going to happen now?
Basically repeated everything. She had another surgery. She was able to, they call it debulk. Most of it, she started radiation every single day for 6 weeks. So we debulked developed our routine, and that was just life for a month and a half. Our family is a big soccer family. We love soccer, Lily plays, Will plays, and a Dragonfly opportunity popped just right after we joined. And it was a Zoom call with two Cincinnati players. And my heart burst for my son. He would love this. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Is it just for Marley? You know, she's the Dragonfly. And no, whole family. Like, we support the whole family. And I was so excited to get to spoil Will something fun from all of this. And he did. It's so fun because when they look back on the hospital, that's what they remember. It brought some light, you know, for the first time since everything had happened. We were able to smile and have fun and be excited about something.
The kids got to walk on the field with players to start a match. That was super cool.
Marley drew some designs that was on the start for the MLS Kids Cancer campaign.
I drew a bunch of dragonflies, soccer balls, drew a sun. I drew my family, my two dogs. Seeing people burn the scarf that I made was just unbelievable.
As a result of the proton therapy she developed, Moya. Basically, she was at high risk of stroke as blood flow to the brain was narrowed. So Marley had a third brain surgery in January.
To help supply more blood to her brain. She had her third craniotomy.
The tumor has been stable, so that's been great.
Tumor doesn't go away. She'll have an MRI every 4 months, 6 months at the most for the rest of her life. So we know her medical journey is never going to be over. I think having Dragonfly, knowing they're also going to be there, it's one of those things like, okay, like, we can get through this. Like, we've been there, we've done that, and then we know what's on the other side. It's just one of those steadfast things you can just kind of hold on to.
It's like something, you know that Dragonfly has your back, has your family's back. And that's relief.
It's not just tickets to games and stuff like that. Like, it's a giant family, it's a community, and it's just a sense of camaraderie. Like, I know where you've been, you know where I've been. We're just there to have fun and relax and let our kids be kids for a while, and not let their medical journey affect what's going on right in that moment.
Support Dragonfly, so like kids like me can actually think that they're not just cancer, they're more than that.
I know it's 7 minutes, but I think you see what? TikTok.
2023 was the year the world learned.
Oh, what did we learn? Never saw. Thank you. So last summer, I saw that video and I thought, okay, this is where I'm meant to be. So Marley is phenomenal. She was just at an event that we were at last week. She's doing really well. So she's a beautiful child. A lot of you guys might remember Marty Brenneman shaving his head. And that's to bring recognition to one of our programs that's called I'm Still Me. So that program was developed to help educate families and children and prepare them and actually go through the whole journey from beginning to end or during when they're getting ready to lose their hair because of treatment. So, Marty did a phenomenal job of, shaving his head and said, hey, I'm not my hair, I'm still me, right? So that's where it really kind of put Dragonfly on the map in our region, and we're so grateful. But that's a wonderful program. Christine, our founder, again, Christine Knightsky, she had shared with me a story when her son was going through treatment and lost his hair, that it was very irritating to lay on the hospital pillowcases, that they're just very rough and his head and scalp were very sensitive. So part of this program is that we provide education. We provide hair dyes before you lose your hair so you can dye it whatever crazy color you want. But then afterwards, we provide very high-end, often pottery barn pillowcases because we know that's going to be a need. So that's one of our patient programs.
Of course, you see different things going on here with all types of events and things that we do. Sorry, my notes here. I know I'm gonna forget something if one of the things that a couple of other programs, adopt a family. So over the holidays, we adopted 95 families, and that's just not 95 patients, it's their whole family. We want to take care of Christmas for them. So that's a wonderful program. Care bags are those bags that are filled with essentials that day that you're admitted. So we work with Children's Hospital, and it's waiting in the room once a new patient's being checked in. Even down to laundry detergent. There are laundry services there at Cincinnati Children's, but not necessarily detergent right when you need it, right? And fabric, dryer sheets, things like that. Beads of Courage is another program that Dragonfly supports. This program is when you are diagnosed with a blood cancer or pediatric cancer, and then we also care for those with a bone marrow transplant, because often that's a result of a pediatric cancer. You start receiving a bead for every interaction, every treatment, visit, scan, you get a bead. This beautiful young lady has all of these beads from her pediatric cancer journey. And they often wear them as a badge of honor, right? And it's a beautiful thing. So that's something that we help support at Cincinnati Children's. And then, of course, any kind of community connections. You know, it's really like Rotary, it's about building community. So anytime you can imagine being, and I know we can all relate in some way, a family member, a friend who has gone through something, a journey of their own that you're not familiar with. You can imagine how isolating that is. So connecting these parents and these other children that are living this is huge, so that they can build community, lean on each other, others that really understand what they're going through. Of course, the events, that's the fun part. That's the easy thing, you know, for us to do. So anytime that we can provide just some respite, right? Just a chance to forget that you're dealing with cancer. Forget you're on this road. Whether it's a Reds game, we actually have a suite that we have at Heritage Bank Arena. So see a Cyclones game. This is a nice suite that you can go when your immune system's been compromised and feel safe while you're there to enjoy a show. So those are some things you don't realize. You know, you can't go sit, you know, in FC Stadium next to your neighbor if you've got a compromised immune system. So soccer games, any type of thing like that. And then, of course, this is our office. This is where we call home, and we call it the landing. So it's called the landing because every Dragonfly needs a place to land, and this is just blocks away from Cincinnati Children's. This is where families and patients could come. If the doctor says, you know what, you're doing really well this week, you can have a couple of hours outside of the hospital. Well, you're not making a visit to Chuck E. Cheese, you know, obviously. So come to the landing. Well, we have gaming, we have arts and crafts, we have just beautiful spaces where you can relax and sit on a couch together. You know, that's not within the hospital walls. So, and this is always open. You guys drop me a line. I'd love to give you a tour. It's a beautiful historical home that was the original Mayfield Clinic. So it's on Oak Street, if you're familiar with the Vernon Manor, the old hotel that's now admin offices for Cincinnati Children. It's right there on the corner, built in 1906. It's quite beautiful. We do a lot of fundraising events. You know, it costs money to put on these programs and different things, and we have something for everyone. So you ride a motorcycle, we got you. You play pickleball, we have that. We have a gala. We have a little bit of something for everyone. Since I was there in December, I experienced Warm 98's Radiothon. It was so cool. So it'll be another day in December, usually that second week. The whole day they broadcast from the landing, and it's so neat. And people call in, make financial donations, but we'll share stories. Marley and her brother were there. Other patients are there sharing their story. It's just a really neat thing to see, and a lot of musicians come and play on air. It's a beautiful day. And I want to leave a couple of minutes I know we're over, and I'm sorry, we're going to be over, but over 7,700 patients, siblings, families helped. So that's 7,700 individuals have been helped through Dragonfly in 13 years. And if you've noticed last year's news, Children's Hospital, Cincinnati Children's Hospital is #1 in oncology. So across the country, across the world, when your child receives a pediatric cancer diagnosis, a lot of times they're being referred to Children's now here in Cincinnati because they're #1. And so their numbers are going up, our numbers are going up in turn. But super excited and blessed to be able to serve families in whatever need or capacity that means for them. If you shoot me an email, give me a call, would love to share more if you're interested in attending an event.
Where did the name come from?
Good question. So I mentioned Matt, right? Matt was Christine's son that had Hodgkin's lymphoma. Once they got to a space where he was going to be okay, she shared with Matt this is what she wanted to do, was start this foundation. And she said, and I think I'm going to call it the Butterfly Foundation. And Christine tells the story way better than I do. But apparently he slammed his hand down, 10-year-old boy, I'm sorry, slammed his hand and said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, Mom. That's very girly. And she said, well, what do you have? He goes, well, what about Dragonfly? So she looked it up. Dragonfly means strength and courage in children. So she said, all right, I like that. And there you have it. Christine, she said, I really don't want to use cancer in the name. She said, I want for a moment to forget that you are not cancer. You are more than that. And so when our dragonflies come to the landing or we're at an event, they say, I'm a dragonfly, are you a dragonfly? They never say, I have cancer, do you have cancer? So it's really unique. And thank you, Michelle. Michelle invited me today through some mutual friends. So thank you.
One last thing.
Yeah. Oh, I saw this sitting up here.
So we are taking on the literacy initiative.
Okay.
So a number of our there's one reading.
Love it.
So this year what we have done is every state month that they got their favorite children's book. So hers was one of the Sandra Boynton's books.
Yeah.
This was one of my kids.
It's so going to bed.
And then inside each book have a little label.
Oh my goodness. Hey, that's beautiful. Thank you. Oh, this is wonderful. It took me about 3 years for my daughter not to call her belly button Bebo. So thank you guys very much.
So next week, we have Teresa Cruz, who's been visited our club a couple of times with Fiesta NKY. I just saw Boone County government has given Teresa $10,000 towards their food box drive.
Wow.
Which she'll explain. Many food pantries do not have food that's culturally relevant to our Hispanic families, and so that's going towards the box. But because she has a pantry, if we could do a diaper drive for her. So sizes 3 to 7 is what she needs. So next week when you come, if you can please bring diapers, that would be great. She would really appreciate it, and so would the families. So that's it. Those of us going to Frankfurt tomorrow, have safe travels, and we'll be back next week.